Hello, everyone out there in the world, and welcome to another episode of Under the Black Light with your boy, Governor Wildstar. It is I. Hello, and welcome to Under the Black Light. I am your guest again, Governor Wildstar, and I have with me a very, very special guest, one of the greatest light workers who I know. And speaking of Under the Black Light and, us being light workers and shining light on all of what is going on in the world, I really feel like this next guest that I'm going to introduce to you is being a beacon of that light and its greatest source and epitome. And she is here in my home with me. Where she lives, and I would like to introduce her to you. It is my wife, the lovely and one and only Lady Wildstar.
Hello.
Hello, Lady
Pleasure
Wildstar.
to be on here.
Oh, well, thank you for being here. It's a pleasure is all mine, trust me. Well, don't make me all embarrassed, because usually I just talk to all my guests, and now I got to sit here and stare at you and stare into those beautiful eyes. So that may make it a bit difficult, but I'm going to do my best to focus here because we got to talk, okay? And so Lady Wildstar, we are here under the black light on a very special day because it is President's Day. It's a holiday.
All right.
Yeah,
Yes.
I guess, yeah. So,
President's Day. Woo.
woo! So I guess this is our President's Day special episode. So, if we could, Lady Wildstar, let's talk about our presidents and being involved in politics and activism as being a black woman. I mean, how do you feel about all of what's going on in our world and our presidents and the celebration of presidents? Because as a black person, it's always been instilled into me, the whole dead presidents is the only celebration of presidents, etc. You even hear it in rap songs by artists, and even got a movie called Dead Presidents. So I want to ask you, what is your view of President's Day and being involved into the whole political spectrum, being a black woman?
Wow. And it's funny because, most women aren't really into politics quite as much because we're like, oh, that's a guy's thing. Although there's lots of women in politics,
True.
but majority of, especially black women, we don't, we don't really get into that as much as we possibly should. So, or we probably should, I should say. But President's Day, I never really thought of anything about presidents. I was to believe it or not, I've really never really been into politics. And because I always found it bored me, but until I saw how it affects me on a physical level, you know what I mean? Like, well, just a social economic level, where it's affecting, when I was, left my job and stuff like that, when it came to what is it, just trying to get unemployment and all these other things and stuff like that. And you can kind of see where the roadblocks were. And I've worked, nonstop for like 11 years in the dental field and, working there. And all of a sudden just to, you try to go to them for help and they're like, oh, we can do this for you, but we have to cut it here because of budget cuts. Or if you have a parking ticket and stuff, you can't talk to anybody on the phone. Oh, that's there because of budget cuts. And then you're kind of seeing, you talk to families, and even friends that have kids, they have to do with vaccinations and stuff like that. And, we're like, oh, we're starting to do that because it's good for the people. And I'm like, I keep seeing our tax dollars being spent and what's being good for the people. But then, as you're driving around, you're seeing homelessness on the rise and all this type of stuff. And then not only that, just being a black woman, you starting to see police not they're exercising out of their jurisdiction. They're exercising some kind of unknown law,
Right.
And
So having had just recently having had our nation's first black president, and it being a President's Day, I guess, what do you feel like has been Barack Obama's influence on the black community? And especially in relation to what you said about families having to deal with, you know, struggling and policing, et cetera, et cetera. So, as a black woman, I would think for you wanting to develop and start your own family, or just having to deal with the populace as is and having certain disadvantages, I guess, quote unquote. Um, how does that make you feel, or what is your perspective on that?
Well, my perspective with Barack Obama, I was really excited. Oh, black, president. I mean, what black person really wasn't? But we were happy and stuff. And I don't really feel. I believe, deep down inside, this is just my own thought here, but I just believe he was there to actually just pacify the people, pacify the black people, make us feel comfortable, like we're safe and all that stuff. Only to have, bam, all these other things happen. And I guess the irony in it all is that we had a lot of more racist police brutality acts, criminal acts, that the police are committing against black
True.
people under his watch. So at this
Yeah, I
point,
would say
I don't
it
know what to
definitely
believe.
was heightened.
It was heightened. And the irony in that, I was like, man, this doesn't make any sense. It's like, hey, you're supposed to be marching down here with us, like Martin Luther King and stuff like that, or speaking against it, or and you are in a position of power. It should be, Negro Town right now. You know what I'm saying? But yet it seemed like it's gotten worse.
For those don't know Negro Town, you got to check that out on Key and Peele.
Oh, those guys are crazy.
Yeah, so we kind of did jump in pretty deep here just out the gate. And I want to talk about that in a little bit in itself because it is Black History. Yeah. And with us, I guess, celebrating our Black pride or heritage, etc., it seems to kind of ruffle a bit of few feathers out there. And how does that kind of equate in with how you feel as a person with having to approach such point of views negatively with you being a proud person? Because you hear them say Latin pride and you know, whatever. Anyways, with white pride, I guess, if you want to call it that, I guess the argument for white people is it doesn't have to be so black, white, or whatever the case, but white people's view, or white people don't understand, I would more so say, is how the world as it exists, it is inclusive of white pride. It is white pride, you know? And if a person is white, what are they proud of? Are they not proud at all? And we as black people, should we not be proud? Is it wrong for us to express pride? How do you feel as a black woman having to deal with that?
Yeah, I hate having to draw a line saying Latino pride and, white pride or white supremacy and, and Black Panther love. I really just kind of want us to see each other as one, being more spiritually centered. I want to see that. But just to, answer your question, really, just being a Black woman, I've experienced, where people are like, "Oh, well, you poor." I haven't had it from one end, from one spectrum to the other. I had one person or a few people say, "Oh, I feel so sorry for you, poor thing. That must be really unnerving to live like that." Or in some white people, or in other people, that aren't black. I won't even just say just white. They just say, "Oh, don't pull the race card," or "Oh, you guys just be quiet. Nothing's happening." And I'm like, I'm sorry, so I should just cover my eyes and not see what's going on? It is a collection of these things. I don't want it to happen.
Right.
I am more unity minded because I want all of us to work together because injustice is injustice, period. You know what I mean? Whether you're black, white, or whatever. But I'm noticing it is more of a stigma on African American people. I've heard of, oh, subhuman, or, I've had things thrown at me. Oh, there goes the neighborhood. And I've experienced, some of that negative backlash of that. Sometimes just mind my business. Most of the time, mind my business.
And what's funny is a lot of people don't think the things that you just named off still exist, like the whole "there goes the neighborhood" thing. They just think that does not happen, or you being attacked. I mean, do you have a certain instance in particular you could tell us about?
Yeah, husband and I, Governor Wildstar and I, we're driving down the street, and I'm not going to really go into full detail because every time I think about it, it just really hurts me. But just for the sake of informing people, I felt like my rights were violated. We're driving. I'm the passenger. We have a cop pulled us over, and he was actually asking for my ID along with my husband's, and I'm like, wait, I'm the passenger. There was no probable cause. You just said, oh, your car looked a little older, and I'm not going to give you guys a ticket. I just want to just give me your ID. You know what I mean? And I'm like, wait, I know we have rights here. We don't just have to give you ID, especially if there isn't any probable cause, and you aren't going to give us a ticket. So just, locking arms with my husband, just standing in protest, that was really, really hard for me. And it felt like they didn't even care who I was. Like I wasn't even a human being. I had a police jump in from the back seat. And mind you, I just got in a car accident a week before. I had a cast on my hand. So my hand was broken in 2 places. And, the lady in the cop, and it was the woman police jumped in the back and bashed my head up against the glass, held me apart, pried me and ripped me out the car. I had a couple scratches on me and stuff like that and thrown in a holding cell. Even the lady that put me in there, she's like, you don't look like you're supposed to be here. You don't seem like that aggressive type. I'm like, I'm not. I got a cast on. I'm not going to hurt anybody. I meant no harm, But, someone ripping your husband out the car and everything like that, being, you're my husband, and it's like, and not just my relationship, but I'm sure that goes with anyone. Yeah. You see a police ripping somebody out your car, your baby, your kid, anybody that you love, yeah. Ripping, you want to protect them, especially if he's not a criminal. It wasn't like I was, obstructing them from, don't, I'm trying to block you or create a barrier because you're like robbing the bank or something. Right, you're doing that, then, hey.
And for those people out there that are wondering what she's talking about, or would like a visual, I have the video of said situation on my YouTube channel, so please visit that. That is YouTube Governor Wildstar. Most likely you're watching this video here now, so you might as well go ahead and subscribe while you're checking out that next video. Yeah, thumbs up, all that good stuff. But yeah, and it's still hard to hear about this whole thing or even discuss it, because as a man, I want to be protective of my family, especially my wife. And having you be assaulted by police officers or whatever you want to call them, Gestapo agents, and they're forcefully putting hands on you, and I want to do something about it, yet feeling disabled, is a bit emasculating. And I don't think women out there understand how emasculating having your power or desire as a man to protect your family being taken away from you by a quote unquote authority figure, when there is no higher authority than God. Okay, I don't care what anybody out there would like to say or think or believe, but there is no higher authority than you as a human being, no other person than God, him, herself, itself. Okay, the Almighty Creator. So it's sad feeling like, again, you're having your power taken away from you, and as a potential mother and wife, how does that make you feel, having to deal with that situation?
It's heartbreaking. It really is. And also as a woman, you could feel powerless, because you also have to kind of, deal with being like a second class citizen, and women around the world would know that, women, they get the lower wages, and then try adding being Black on top of that. So it's like you get like a double, kick. So and then also to smile and present yourself and your beauty. Hey, your curly hair, your fro. I mean, you go, read back in the times, or look back. I forgot the lady's name, but she had a fro going to work, or a newscaster, I believe. And they fired her because they said they didn't like her hair. So a lot of us, Black women, we're trying to flatten our hair and iron it and press it and stuff like that. And we're trying to, portray a certain image so we can be accepted. And then when it looks bad or something, we get talked about from all races. Mm-hmm. So, to really walk
damned
around
if you
here,
do, you're damned if you don't.
Yeah. If you're walking around and you want to feel like you're beautiful, because you're going to, they do glorify a certain image, on the media, magazines, and everything like that, and we're all trying to fit that image. How many thick, curvy black women you see out there on a magazine? You may see a couple, and besides King's magazine, fellas, no, that does not count, okay? Or music videos.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, it's difficult because I did go to a predominantly Caucasian school, where there wasn't really many blacks, and it was hard to kind of go against that. I was called Blackie and all kind of stuff, and if there was like one other black student that came, that was new or whatever in our class, they're like, "Oh, is that your brother, or is he going to be your boyfriend if he isn't your brother?" And
now, for you to be dealing with such blatant racism,
as a child,
what year was this? I mean, give people a time span so they know what they're working with.
This was like, because I went to school.
Because supposedly this is past, what is it, racism and prejudice and all of that stuff. So, where are we here today in 2017?
I really don't believe much has changed. I mean, that was the past. I was just really, going into detail about the dichotomy between, like how, I guess, like the relationship between black women and other people and how they see us and our beauty and all that stuff, and they always see us as a mean, fat black woman sitting at the front desk yelling at people portrayed on movies and stuff. And it seems as though it's kind of gotten worse, and we don't really have too many positive, strong female black role models out there to look up to. And it's still prevalent today, unfortunately. It's 2017, and we don't have like a Angela Davis or anything out there like that. I mean, Oprah, no. I'm seeing a bombardment of slave movies. That's not the only history that we have. To my knowledge, I understand that we were kings and queens in Egypt. We were all over the world. So it's like, let's portray that. And when I look on TV, movies to see like, oh, I would like to see a positive image of black folks, and I go to the movie theater, it's nothing but I am Kunta on, on the TV, and it's like 12 Years a Slave and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
It's difficult for our young black women to grow up in something like that. I'm looking at an Egyptian movie, and it's nothing but, skinny other women other than black,
right.
That's walking around. I said, no, if you look at the bust, if you look at some of the historical, pictures and ancient writing, those girls were brown. They purposefully used brown ink to, portray the women that were living there. And they were gorgeous. They were in shape, beautiful hair, I mean, a lot of women, I believe, a lot of us eat a lot too at times to hide in a lot of pain, and because we don't feel beautiful at times, because of where we're at, especially the African American women, and especially the women in Africa are going through that too.
So it does cause issues of pride in itself, just little factors such as that. I mean, like you said, having to deal with the hair and keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. I mean, that in itself would cause issues of pride just amongst the person themselves, no matter what their race may be. If they're feeling inferior by status quo, then that's going to make them feel down and out, so to speak. So it's sad that we, as people, all together have to deal with that. And it would be great if we could all join together as one. Do you think that's a possibility?
Yes, it is. I even started a new group. It's called New Star Goddess, with hopes to have, a lot of more Nubian queens, and, just to join and just to empower ourselves, and just to know there's a safe haven to where we all can just talk about any and everything without any, discrimination. It's really open to all races, actually. I like a lot of races to, feel welcomed and to understand, the beauty and understand the beauty of black people, black women, and we're not all loud or obnoxious and stuff like that. I take that reason why I started, because I see it as a movement, to show us that, we're not all ignorant and, you know, you don't have to clutch on your purses or act scared or, you know.
So is this an open forum for communications? Because I hate to say it, but a lot of people have set mind stereotypes that they like to ask black people about. Like, you know, do you eat chicken all the time? You know, stupid shit like that. Or can I touch your hair? You know, how does that even make you feel being asked to touch your hair? Because if you ask them to touch if you could touch their hair, they'd probably think you're a creep or something like that. But when you're asked, you're just supposed to be like, it's okay.
I've heard a lot of people complain about it. And, you know, at first it's cute. It's like, oh, you like my hair? Look it. But after a while, it's like, I don't want to be pet. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or just, you can compliment my hair and stuff like that. And if we connect and we get closer, then maybe I may let you touch it. But
do you think that's a curiosity of people? Because some white people never touched a black person before, or vice versa.
I'm still kind of, you know, friendly about it. I'm not going to be like, ugh, don't touch my hair. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be mean about it and stuff, you know, and it doesn't happen all the time. And when it does, I actually kind of take it as a compliment. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful hair, you know what I mean? And we should embrace that. And then, because we press it or flat iron our hair, and they're used to straight hair. Right. So when they see someone, you know, that has hair that defies gravity, who would not want to kind of touch that?
Yeah, ooh. I know. I would want to touch it. I love touching your hair all the time.
All right now.
Well, as I said, or probably didn't say, I don't know for sure, but Lady Wildstar and I are married. If you haven't figured it out,
yes.
she is my wife, and
I think they got that.
With you being married to me, I have a few questions for you. And I'm pretty sure the audience would love to know this. How is it being married to Governor Wildstar and future political candidate or whatever, but someone seeking office, you know, because I would think just being a woman and, you know, having that role as it's been shown historically, there is a lot of stress there. So how do you feel being married to Governor Wildstar?
You're right. You hit the nail on the head with the stressful, but I can honestly say it is exciting. It is nerve-wracking at times. I'm like, okay, you know, I don't know if everybody's ready for Wildstar. I mean, if you guys, you know, subscribers, if you guys saw his videos, I'm sure you see how fiery this man could be. So, you know, and I'm like, whoa, did he just say that? It even shocks me sometimes. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, okay. So, you know, being married to a very strong individual as him, it's really not, it's scary, but at the same time, it makes me feel stronger at the same time. It makes me feel like, oh, you know, and he's great because sometimes I read things and I forget it, and he's like my encyclopedia. He just brings it up and
I got your back.
and tells me, okay, remember that time that happened in the past in 1862, this and that, and I'm like, whoa, okay, yeah, that's right, I remember that, you know. So I'm very grateful to have such a strong man to really go against the grain, because it's not like he's just, you know, privileged and we have a silver spoon up there, you know. I mean, he's a black dude with dreads that like weed and everything like that, you know, going up against this, I won't even say up against the establishment, but just showing people another way. And, right. You know, and exposing, you know, the injustice that's out there, you know, and at the same time, I can't get really mad at that. All right. You know, who's to say it's not stressful, but it's cool.
Exactly.
It's a very, very interesting journey.
All right. Well, I'm glad you are enjoying the ride. So, with that said, I mean, of course, if I lose, life goes on as normal. But have you ever thought about what would happen if I win? And I want you to tell the people, what do you envision what a future would be like under Governor Wildstar?
Nobody gonna do any crap. I mean, it's like no one. I feel like I see it more free, because, you know, you yourself, you're free minded and, you know, free spirited, and I believe you'll extend that same, you know, what is it, philosophy through your, you know, through your work. You know, you'll extend it to the people, you know, and because you see people chained up, and you want to break the shackles, not only educate, but break free of those shackles. But the one way we could break free of those is through education. So I see it's gonna be changing, could be changed for the better.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, because I see you want people to, just like, hey, let's break free, yay, be happy. And because, of all the injustice that we have endured, especially, for African Americans too, I don't want to have to feel like I have to keep holding up a sign, please, Black people matter too, we matter. I don't want to keep trying to convince people of that. We're human beings. We bleed blood all the
There
time.
should be just a simple way to show people
Yeah.
without having to scream and shout it so blatantly.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, with us having had been married, I would like to say that we have just celebrated our 5th-year wedding anniversary. Woo! So we just celebrated our 5th year being married on February 18th over the weekend. And it was a great celebration, I would have to say. And I'm completely elated by this woman. She has kept me more than happy over the past 5 years. And we actually got married a year from the day that we met. So for all of you people out there that doubt in true love or love at first sight or whatever the case may be, we are definitely examples of that. And we want to promote you out there to follow your heart, because you never know where it may lead you. It may lead you to the love of your life. So I would like to personally send that energy out there to each and every one of you that are open to love. And I want to thank you for being my incredible, loving, supporter and wife, and just someone standing by me. You've been the best friend ever. And as I started the show by saying, she's one of the greatest light workers I've met. And for anyone out there in the world to meet, trust me, they are very set aback by this woman. And it is because of the great spirit that she emits. And it is very radiant. And she definitely has taught me so many things about being married and relationships in general. Just her shining her light on me and my life has changed me for the better. And I mean, with us having a relationship that is not about one thing, so to speak, but all about everything and missing nothing at all. And I really feel like it takes an incredible woman to teach a man such a thing about being in love, because it is not something that we learn from others. It's something that we happen to learn by mistake on our own. So I want to ask you, how does it feel being married, and of course being Black and married? Because Black couples or marriages, etc., in general, catch a lot of slack as if they're problematic, or somebody's cheating or whatever. We see it in a relationship movie. So what is your perception of that whole point of view?
Well, first off, that was beautiful.
Oh,
thank you.
you.
I mean, you got me teary-eyed, and
probably was stumbling and fumbling. But
yeah, no, you weren't.
Touchdown.
That's fine. Hey, no, I love this radio. This is great. This is real talk. Wow, thank you for saying that.
My pleasure.
It's a beautiful thing to get married. I mean, contrary to what the media may portray, marriage is like a ball and chain. I think marriage is a way that we could spiritually evolve. It's where a marriage is like a mirror image. When you're smiling at your spouse, they smile back at you. When you're yelling at your spouse, they yell back at you. And sometimes basically I believe it's the sword sharpening the sword. And sometimes, you see the sparks fly and everything like that. And they could be good sparks or bad sparks. It's just how you both interpret it. But if you see it as a lesson, to better not only yourself, but someone else, you can see the true beauty in such a union. And just being black and married, it's beautiful because we have a lot of people. They're like, "Oh, you guys are, we love the black love. Keep it up." And it's good. We had our ups and downs and stuff like that, but I believe those ups and downs were there to make us stronger. And I'm gonna continue looking at it that way. And I'm truly, truly very, very grateful to have such a wonderful, handsome hubby that wants to, not only like help me evolve, but help the world or help the state evolve. Other people evolve. And even if he gets elected or not, he's been a beacon of light this whole time. And light is knowledge. That's information that is much needed right now. And I'm very, very appreciative to find another fellow light worker, that believes the same, same as me. That we share the same, philosophy. We like to go out and feed the homeless. And when he first told me, actually, audience, when we first met, what got me was that he said he fed the homeless on Valentine's Day. Instead of like, kicking himself in the butt for not having anybody, he went out there and cooked a 2-hour meal, a dinner or something like that. And he went to Venice Beach and then just fed the homeless and just, all the people, all were welcome. And that to me really touched my heart. And I said, okay, that's the person I want to, be involved with. So I am very, very grateful for it. And just also being black, it's a wonderful connection, and it's very strong. And I'm very, very grateful for that. And I like chocolate. Chocolate loves food.
Well, this chocolate man loves you, definitely. And as I said, we just celebrated our fifth wedding anniversary over the weekend, and we actually decided to take a trip, a little quick vacation for the weekend, and we went somewhere that we went actually to spend our honeymoon when we first got married, and that was Mexico. Woo-hoo. Believe it or not, Mexico.
Oh yeah, we love Mexico.
Love Mexico.
Yeah,
see,
tacos.
All you people out there, you gotta go to Mexico. Trust me, it will change your life. And if you're an American and you frown on Mexico and people coming from Mexico or whatever, I would just say again, go to Mexico just once in your life, and you'll see the difference in just the small freedoms compared to here in America. Yeah. Even just driving around in cars. We talk about Mexicans driving crazy or whatever the case may be, the stereotypes that want to be perpetuated. But driving around in Mexico, there is no stoplights. The part that we went in, there wasn't any at all. And we asked a friend that we met while we were there about, the traffic laws, etc. And he said he probably got a ticket once for a rolling stop at a red light, and that was for $10, which is like a $300 ticket plus here in California. So I want to ask you, Lady Wildstar, how is it going out, traveling abroad, breaking outside of the boxes and the constraints of fear that America tries to perpetuate us when it comes to visiting our neighbors to the south?
That's a good question. I was afraid when my husband surprised me with the trip to Mexico after getting married. I'm like, no. He's like, we're going to Mexico. And I'm like, no, we're getting our heads chopped off. That's what's going to happen. But, no such thing happened. And
the news was wrong.
Yes, it is. And the people, the Latino community, Mexican people, they are so welcoming. They're so loving. We went to this one restaurant, and I'm over here. I love babies, by the way. And this guy, he came in with this cute little baby, and I was like, oh, how cute. He's like, oh, you want to hold my baby? Here you go. I'm like, he might as well have just thrown the baby the way how free he was with this child. But that meant a lot to me because I don't really get to experience that so much in America. I feel like I'm more of a person instead of, oh, look at that black girl over there. You know what I mean? They see you as a person. Well, they see you as a tourist, but it's still, they don't really get on that too much. It felt good. I'm like, okay, cool. I had some people looking at it. It's like, oh, black people out here. But but it wasn't nothing blatant and stuff. They still treat you with respect. I mean, it's cool. I really like that, and that made me see that there is a stereotype that is being portrayed on the media and stuff like that, where they're putting out there like, oh, be afraid here. We need to build a wall to protect us, and we're gonna be safe from these
Right.
terrorists, these crazy guys. I'm like, come on, you guys. I mean, they're people, and then they have different cultures. That's the difference. But, why can't we just mesh? I mean,
exactly.
This is the United States of America. There shouldn't be not one race dominating a United States. We all came here to be free.
Precisely.
So it should be an open melting pot. We shouldn't be so divided if we're united.
Right.
So that's when I know there's something wrong. Anything that tries to divide or separate, you always want to question. And people that want to bring unity and, and togetherness, and they talk about those topics and act on that. That's where you want to gravitate and galvanize around. You want to be there where the unity is. So that's one way to kind of see between that smoke and mirrors of, racism, separatism, and all that other stuff. It really isn't like that. And I truly enjoyed, going to Mexico. Tasting the food. And actually, I heard the GMOs are banned.
Mm-hmm.
The food was fresh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't have to, I didn't feel like, oh, my stomach's messed up, by eating out there. It was great, and the same thing. I also went to Japan. People were nice out there. Went there last year, and very nice. The people were friendly with me. They treat me as if I were Asian, and
did they see you as black in Japan?
No, they didn't really like. They look a little bit like, oh, they're foreigners, but it's nothing like, oh my God, look at that big black girl over there. Look at her, she's black.
Right.
They weren't saying things.
There isn't
like
any
that.
Resentful approach.
Yes, I have family out there, and that's why he left the States. My brother, he left the States because he's like, I can't. He's like, I'm treated like I'm a criminal.
Right.
Everywhere I go, and he was. Picked up and then, like, oh, you fit a description and stuff, and I'm like,
well, nobody wants to.
And he's just walking to the store, and
exactly.
He said he had tickets galore. He said he's been out there for almost 10 years now and not one ticket.
Wow.
And he says it feels good to feel like a human being. And that's, what we all want. We don't want, oh, you white racist people or you Latino people. We don't want that. We just like, hey, let's just be people. I just want to be seen as a person. And it's so sad we're still talking about black and white and stuff. And this is 2017. This is issue we were dealing with like in the 60s and 70s, 50s. Why?
But it's sad that race isn't just the only thing that divides us, like you said. And one of the things that could unite us as a people would be our spiritual connection, right? And it's sad that that's one of the other tools being used against us as people. And I'd like to ask, with regards to your ideals when it comes to spirituality, are they religious per se? And if so, what do they evolve around? Christianity, Islam? Let's tell the people.
Well, I was brought up Christian, and we've kind of bounced around from like Baptist to Pentecostal, and then, I even went to one Lutheran church, and, and just kind of really found there was a lot of, I don't know, I was comfortable in my little Christian world, but something didn't feel right. Like I felt like I was just judging everybody. I'm like, well, God doesn't like that person, and God doesn't like that person either, and I'm like, I can't hang out with them, and I'm just like, wait a minute. So really just kind of, I had to kind of break free from that mold, really, to understand what unconditional love was instead of love with conditions. And I believe that's what religion is, love with conditions. And so I don't really affiliate myself with, any religion per se. I believe we're all spiritual beings, in this vessel, traversing through the universe, evolving, spiritually evolving consciously. I do, appreciate other, religions, like, I do understand and adapt some of the philosophy of the Buddhists and the Taoism and everything like that. oneness and flowing and feng shui and stuff like that. I think it's beautiful. Even the goddess energy with the polytheistic type of religion like Hinduism. I like I said, I adapt a little bit of each philosophy without really claiming one title.
Right. So
Yeah.
speaking on that, if I may, if I may tell the people, my wife has started studying holistic therapy. Now, this is new to me, as I'm sure it's new to a lot of people out there. So, excuse me, I have a cold, so don't don't mind me none. But
You
if
need
you
to drink your tea.
could, if you could, I'm done.
Oh, okay.
If you could, Lady Wildstar, can you break down and talk about a little bit more about holistic therapy and what it involves for the audience?
Well, I've decided, after working in dentistry and everything like that, and having some background in the dental field, I see some of the unconventional ways that that the doctors and the dentists they practice, on the patients. Just for instance, when you go to a dentist's office, they use amalgam, those metal fillings, and really it contains mercury, which can cause like cancer and brain damage. And I'm just like, why is the ADA and why are they approving something that's so taxing to our
Right.
body? And I'm like, so when you're more into the spirit, it starts revealing things to you. Like your body talks to you, and oftentimes you go to the pharmacy or you go to the doctors and they just give you things or medications that just cover and temporarily, relieve the symptoms that are big red flags, that you need to take care of. But if you're constantly bombarding yourself with just drugs, you're not going to listen to your body quite as much. So I just decided to, I felt my spirit led me into the holistic practices, and so I do a lot of crystal healing. I use the crystal energy, I do that. It's good for cleaning, and balancing out, your chakras. You guys can look that up. It's really, really interesting stuff. Also a bit of aromatherapy. There's wonderful benefits in aromatherapy because you're using the essences of flowers to heal your body. It's actually known to, cure certain ailments, not all, of course, and I'm not discrediting the doctors or anything like that. Hey, if you got your arms broken in half or you got a big
Right.
gash in your
Western
arm.
medicine is okay at that point.
Yeah, and then you go ahead and go to the doctor, but this is more of symptoms of the spirit, mind, and body. And I believe,
Right.
we kind of neglected our body because we're not really focusing on preventive care. It's always aftercare and ignoring the symptoms. But if you have a holistic practice, you don't have to keep worrying about rushing to the doctor, if you have like a infection or gallbladder or hernia or whatever. If you're
Mm-hmm.
practicing your yoga, you're eating life-giving greens, and you're also dealing with your emotional self as well. Because I really believe we ignore that aspect of ourselves, and that's an integral aspect of ourselves, our spirituality. And if we all often mow it away, and then we're like, oh, it's just I'm good, but then you're like, why do I still feel like there's a cloud over me or a heavy dark cloud over me? So you go to a psychiatrist and then they give you some medication that causes more of a chemical imbalance. So you feel really dizzy, and but yet you still feel you need to go to these trusted professionals.
Yeah.
And again, you guys, this is my opinion. Everybody has their own, and I'm not trying to discredit anybody if you're on your
But
current
it's the
plan.
truth. I
But
mean, just even look at
right, but it's still
medicine, modern medicine now, and how it's depicted in the news. It's people don't trust it, and it's
yeah.
it's time that they try something new, and especially when we know our when we know our healthcare system is all built around making money off of you being sick, then it's time to try something new, whether it be reforming the system or changing the system as it is or whatever altogether, or you venturing out and trying different types of alternative medicine yourself. Even if it's not crystal healings, maybe it's acupuncture or acupressure or um, what is that called? Reiki? Yeah.
Yeah, the spiritual Reiki. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
So these are different types
correct.
of health practices that, again, are aimed at making you better. And it's a shame that we as people have kind of um, turned a blind eye to it. And especially black people, I got to be honest, as um, as a group per se that has been told certain type of practices are looked at as being demonic or negative or voodoo or whatever the case. It's always been shunned upon that, oh, you shouldn't you know delve into that type of information. So how do you feel dealing with that type of an aspect, being a black woman and venturing into this type of career?
It's kind of like you have to go. It does feel like you're going against the grain and stuff like that. But I'm seeing it's becoming more and more popular. It's a lot of the Eastern medicine is trying to, or it has been migrating here, but now it's starting to get more attention. I'm starting to see it more on the TV and magazines. Even the Michael Phelps, he did cupping. He was actually on the front of the cover swimming, and people were like, "What is that?" So
Yeah, the
it's
red
starting
spots.
the red rings on his back, and people are starting to question, like, "Oh, what is that? If it works for him, it may work for me." So it's really just about educating the masses on, like, there's an alternative way to deal with your things with no side effects, guys. No side effects, and it's non-invasive, and it's just using high vibrational energy, from crystals and stuff, and, just to help lift and just kind of move that, dark cloud feeling away from our spirit body, and allowing ourselves to naturally, remove all that no longer serves us spiritually. Because sometimes it's hard to shake off if you don't face it and deal with it, and we carry it into, our relationships, our job, and everything like that.
So is there a little bit of advice or something that you could kind of give our viewers, some sort of like home practice or way to cleanse, or maybe it has to deal with crystals or meditation or yoga or whatever, but is there something that you can recommend to people out there that are listening, to where if they want to kind of center themselves on a day-to-day basis, other than coming to you for this information, which you should drop your website and all of that information, yes. Any place where they can find you, but is there anything that you can give them?
Well, you can, they have a lot of state boards where you can, first and foremost, I just really want to put other holistic healthcare practitioners out there. That's what they're called, holistic healthcare practitioners. They do perform like Reiki work, healing work, all kinds of unique healing modalities, and what you can do is they do have a database. I think it's called the AADP, American Drugless Practitioners. We may have to put that plug in a little later after the show, but it's a board.
Google it, people. Just Google it.
Well, they basically have a database of all holistic healthcare therapists that are practicing.
All right.
And I say that, you guys try them. You know what I mean? There's, I'm starting to see more and more wellness centers, popping up and stuff like that. Just try it. You see if you like it. If it's too costly for you or you don't want to try it, what you can do is practice on a day-to-day is to, and this is what I need to work on at times too. Sometimes turn off the electronics, turn off the cell phone in the morning. We've been programmed to be like, oh, we got to look at my cell phone. We become more of a digital based type of, society instead of just spiritually based. So I think just sometimes shutting that off and just meditate to yourself. Meditate and just say, you know what, I ask, and you can ask Jesus, you can ask Buddha, Kuan Yin, a goddess energy, whatever higher, or your higher self, angel. I personally like angels, so I just ask the angels, hey, assist me with my meditation, help me remove all that no longer serves me, and I would do that every day. And also, it's really, really good to write down all the things that you're thankful for, because I don't believe we don't give too much power, to the things that we're thankful for. We're so quick to complain or say what we don't have, and just keep yourself a positive mindset in the morning before doing that. And the meditation helps refresh you, refreshes your spirit, helps you, more confident, helps you become more confident, with your day-to-day work and stuff like that. And also exercise is good too.
Yeah.
Get that blood flowing and stuff like that. That's good. You can do it with yoga. I personally like belly dance. That's my thing. I think that's a beautiful way for women. Beautiful way for women to embrace their feminine side through the art of dance. Dance is really good. And pregnant moms, just because you're pregnant don't mean you're off the hook. If anything, you got to do it even more so because you got a cute little baby and, cooking in the oven. So it's really good to go to little mommy and me, what is it? Mommy and me yoga classes. You could even look into hiring a doula. Doulas are really good. They're similar to witch doctors, but they're more of like a companion, more of a softer companion. They do have pre and postnatal,
See,
care,
even just that word.
Care.
Witch doctor is scary to people. They're like, oh, they're gonna come over here with bones in the bag and shake them over the bed.
Witch doctor. I meant like midwife. I'm sorry, not a witch doctor. You got.
Yeah, let's fix that one.
No, I'm sorry, midwives.
So the dude is like the midwife. I got you.
But nothing wrong with the witch doctors. I mean, all they crush up herbs and here you go. My thing is people research before anything. Hey, like LeVar Burton said, don't take my word for it. Research it. You know what I mean? See what you wanna try. But don't be so close-minded, living in a box, wondering why I'm so bored or everything's so mundane. Get outside the box and
that
try different practices.
Burton, that was a Reading Rainbow quote. For you all, by the way.
Yeah, 80s or
for all
80s
you
babies.
80s heads out there. But
70s too. They were,
true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so reading a book is fundamental. Yeah. So please read.
Open the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
So with you, I guess, being all that you are, the wonderful freedom fighter, the wonderful wife and, loving supporter that you are and backbone of me, and holistic therapists out there sharing your powers and your gifts and innate abilities with the rest of the world. You've also started to venture into music and to start to express yourself creatively through the musical arts. So I want to talk to you a bit more about that, if I may. I kind of caught her off guard.
Yes, you did. I was not music.
Right? She's like, what?
I know. Wait a minute.
Because I've been doing music since I don't know when, but damn near for 20 years plus now. So it's nothing new to me, and it is to you. And I just want to ask, how is it for you? I guess dipping your toes into that, that type of expression, because it takes another part of you as a person. So what type of artist do you see yourself as?
Artist, wow.
It is an art, hey.
Yeah, I mean,
when you're up there expressing yourself musically.
Well, yeah, it started when I was a kid. I was in the piano. I did choir in middle school, high school, and stuff. But I really never I did actually kind of try it a little professionally, but I kind of been falling up and down on that. So just recently with Governor Wildstar, he's kind of giving me back on the mic, and I do appreciate that exposure. I believe it helps me build my confidence again for not doing it for so long.
Well, you have a beautiful voice. And
well, thank you very much.
I'm honored to have the opportunity to share it with the world. So I'll actually be doing that a little later here in the show. And
wow.
For sure, I'm going to be sharing people that lovely talent of yours that must be shared. So we'll be showcasing that here with a song that we actually performed together. Is called How It's Supposed to Be. And it was actually written by myself, and I was able to seduce my wife into singing on the song for me, and it was our first time. So I'm very honored, like I said again, to have the opportunity to work with you in such a fashion and to be able to share that talent of yours with everyone. So I hope everyone out there listening will definitely be looking forward to hearing more from her as a vocalist in the future, not only with music with myself, but hopefully with other musicians and definitely on her own. So it's soon to come. So I want you to start thinking about that Crystal Wildstar, and I want each and every one of you people out there to start thinking about it as well, because we, as light workers, are here to change the world. And I think it's very imperative that we tap into every ability and skill, or whatever you want to call it, talent, for us as people to unite and share this united message with the world, because it is extremely imperative right now that we gather as one. And it's sad to think that we gather together as one group and can be demonized, when a whole month is dedicated to celebrating us. So as Black people, I would say rise up, stand together, grab hand in hand with your brother from another mother or sister or whatever you want to call it, and just hug one another and share that love. And it is a true love that I have found with my wife, and I'm thankful for her to be here and share that love with me, and to share that a little bit of that love with you. And Crystal, I just want to say I love you with all of my heart, unconditionally. And
I love you too. Wow.
and it's definitely been an honor and a pleasure, and to just be married to you, and to have you, and to hold, and call mine.
Beautiful, beautiful words. Wow. Loving this Valentine's love in the air. Too.
Hey, oh yes, a lot of love.
I know, thank you. And I love you as well. Thank you.
So, Lady Wildstar, you want to tell the rest of the world a little bit about the love that you plan on sharing with them before you say goodbye?
Well, I do love you all. I thank you guys for listening and supporting us. And I just pray that each and every one of you just look within and not look out with looking at, the exterior. It's all about interior right now. We have cultures and differences, yeah, but let's like change it up and, just kind of focus on our spiritual growth so we can advance as a race, as a human race. That's the main one. We're a human race, not about just black, white race, but a human race. And we need to connect together, and let's just focus on the similarities, which are love, liberty, and freedom. Well, liberty is freedom, but it's just we acknowledge, that's what I should say, wisdom, so we can advance and move on. And just know that I love you, and I'll be putting good prayers and wishes out there for each and every one of you. And thanks again for supporting my wonderful, loving husband, fellow light worker as well. Also, my website is currently under construction, but it is, if you want to take a little peek at it, it's thecrystalsden.com. And that's where I'll be,
thecrystalsden.com.
Yes. And I have a list of my fees, or not fees, but like my services as well as fees. And
your Facebook as well. You have a Facebook group.
Yes, I am that, but that's under construction. You
don't
tell them that yet.
Hey, all of this under construction, but we would love for you to just join for now. And stay tuned. That's all it takes.
It's out there.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And
how
about your group as well for the ladies?
Yeah, the New Star Goddess, for the groups for women to embrace their inner goddess, their divine energy, where we could, go out there, feed the homeless. It's a group where we can just, be beacons of light for others, and just, share the beauty of women too. You know what I mean? Just embracing woman love instead of hating, on each other, like, oh, what purse you have or what clothes you have. It's not about that. It's about something even bigger. So I see that as a movement for all of us women to connect and just feel empowered and want to make a change, and also share, holistic ideas, recipes, fun stuff. We all like that, right?
And how about your information, contacts for if someone wants a reading or a session? Because if you're native here in California, that'd probably be the only way. But, I guess for if someone wanted a dream reading or something like that, is there a way that they can contact you?
Yes, you
To
can
set up an appointment, maybe?
Yes, thank you for putting that out there. You guys can reach me on my email if you would like a reading, or if you have any further questions about what I do about crystal healing. I can go in more detail with you about that, or even refer you to some people that I do know. You can reach me on my email at crystal crystal rocks rocks at tuta t as in Tom u t as in Tom a.com.
Tutamail.
I'm sorry, yeah, Tutamail. You got it for me.
Yeah.
crystalrocks at tutamail.com.
Yeah.
I almost went blank there.
I got you, Doc. See? Teamwork, right? The Wildstars.
Got that right. Show enough. That's right.
All right. Well, speaking of the Wildstars, we're going to call it a night and get back to our evening because I got to get to work, unfortunately. And I would like to spend the rest of my evening with my lovely wife here. But I do thank you all for tuning in for this very special episode of Under the Black Light with my lovely and wonderful guest, Lady Wildstar, Crystal Wildstar. And I'll be introducing to you now this song that we have recorded together called How It's Supposed to Be, which I'll be playing for you now. So here it is, Cue Ball with Crystal Wildstar, How It's Supposed to Be. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Everybody talking about keeping it 100. Keep it 100. I'ma give it to you. Give it to you. Give it to you. Especially when they step up to the microphone. Give it up. Give it about that heart and soul. This about that heart and soul. Give it to you, no platinum or gold. I'ma give you everything how it's supposed to be. Heart won't know on my sleeve how it's supposed to be. It wouldn't be right if I didn't give all of me. Didn't you know that that's how it's supposed to be? Not afraid of anything how it's supposed to be. Make it destiny how it's supposed to be. It wouldn't be right if I didn't give all of me. Didn't you know that that's how it's supposed to be? I'ma start out telling you the truth. Why a real MC like me would hit the booth. It ain't got nothing to do with the money I can make, even though if I made a meal, that would be great. Cause I spend every dollar that I got to make songs to be heard by the world, but I'm not. And it don't really help, I ain't got no bling. Cause without folks don't recognize I'm a king. Still I don't let it get in my way. There's some folks that wanna hear what I gotta say, so I'm doing something right. Or the people wanna shout, hey Q-Ball, when your next CD coming out? No doubt that'll be real soon. Just keep an eye on me and stay in tune. I'ma hit away for getting major radio play. Either way, just know that I'll be here to stay. I'ma give you everything how it's supposed to be. Heart won't know on my sleeve how it's supposed to be. It wouldn't be right if I didn't give all of me. Didn't you know that that's how it's supposed to be? Not afraid of anything how it's supposed to be. Make it destiny how it's supposed to be. It wouldn't be right if I didn't give all of me. Didn't you know that that's how it's supposed to be? Now my lady got me all mixed up. Every time I see her, she think I wanna cut. Yes I do, but it's more between me and you. I can't help that you got that sweetest taboo. Who knew with a little bit of time we'd be on a sheet, on the beach with some wine, holding on to each other, feeling heat in between.
Come on now, Q, remember to keep it clean.
You know what I mean, or at least get the idea. Only thing that matters is that I'm clear, so you can hear every word of my mouth, and you will know exactly what I'm talking about. I'ma show love in more ways than just one. Epitomize every definition underneath the sun. Only one that you need along with the Most High. Fill the void in your life, no need to deny. I'ma give you everything how it's supposed to be. Heart won't know on my sleeve how it's supposed to be. It wouldn't be right if I didn't give all of me. Didn't you know that that's how it's supposed to be? Not afraid of anything how it's supposed to be. Make it destiny how it's supposed to be. It wouldn't be right if I didn't give all of me. Didn't you know that that's how it's supposed to be? Give you everything how it's supposed to be. Heart won't know on my sleeve how it's supposed to be. It wouldn't be right if I didn't give all of me. Didn't you know that that's how it's supposed to be? Not afraid of anything how it's supposed to be. Make it destiny how it's supposed to be. It wouldn't be right if I didn't give all of me. Didn't you know that that's how it's supposed to be? Didn't you know that that's how it's supposed to be? Didn't you know that that's how it's supposed to be? Didn't you know that that's how it's supposed to be? Didn't you know that that's how it's supposed to be? Even when everything breaks down, that's how it's supposed to be, B. Even when everything breaks down, that's how it's supposed to be, B. Even when everything breaks down, that's how it's supposed to be, C. Even when everything breaks down, that's how it's supposed to be, B. Now that's how it's supposed to be. Now that's how it's supposed to be. Now that's how it's supposed to be. Didn't you know that that's how it's supposed to be? Now that's how it's supposed to be. Now that's how it's supposed to be. Wouldn't be right if I didn't give all of me. Didn't you know that that's how it's supposed to be?